This year I've been making a game every month. On the previous month, I made the games that are story driven, have a decent game loop like Papers, Please. I made the desktop pad, so kind of idle game, and even added Driz to Punk to make it feel nice and better to play. However, this month I didn't have that much time, since I had a lot of university projects and exams, including a game jam that I had a week to develop with 3 other guys. So this month the game will be made in 1 week, and with an engine I don't have a lot of experience, Unity. Although it is probably one of the best games I made so far, and it ended way better than I expected. So let's go to the video. On the clock at midnight of Friday, the game jam team was released. So I checked it really fast, and to my surprise the team was kind of good. One-time use. We wanted to avoid games that needed a lot of handmade content, like platformers or level-based games. However, we were out of ideas, so me and my teammates spent like 3 hours thinking about it, and we thought about a lot of stuff like one usability, only use keyboard keys, only use bullet that could ricochet for example, and much more, but well, none of them sparked any special feeling, you know. So around 3 AM we talked about something, a dice-based game, where each dice can only be used once. It has a nice game loop, I think, and it's kind of a good idea. The base concept was there, so quickly we downloaded a couple assets, and while I hopped on a sprite to make some dice sprites, my teammates started developing a prototype of the infinite scroller, since we wanted to make an infinite scroller. But as you can see, there are a couple flaws right now, but well, it was already 4 AM, so I just went to sleep, and when I woke up I fixed it and applied the parallax to the different layers of the background to make the game feel more unique. After that I went to Sprite, trying to make a more pleasant underground, but as you can see, I didn't get that lucky on making what I envisioned. Well, it was already late again, so I just went to sleep. Today I started by changing the underground completely, since it will be used like an inventory for the dices. After that I went and implemented the enemy popping up and the dice in game. The enemies are showing up with an event system that determines what should show up and when. That will help adding more events in the future, and dices are implemented by rendering on the inventory. And if they are clicked, they are added to the player in usage inventory, that is the dice that will be used. And after that I just rendered the dice value on the UI, and then I just made a main menu to add one more layer of complexity to the game. After that I found it confusing what each dice could do, so I added some type of pop-up with a small description of the specified dice. Also added the health icons and gold, obviously working correctly. It's a must, and it is already created some kind of game that was at the very least playable. Still, on the same day I just improved the UI. It will be the same UI for the whole game, and to finish this day I just made some stress tests to see if everything was working fine. Today I improved even more the UI, it's starting to look like a game. Well, after that I fixed the replay button, and with that the game was now replayable. I added the default dice that will increment 1 per round, that is the red one that you can see here. You can't remove these dice. After that I started implementing a shop, the first event besides our weird enemy that doesn't look like an enemy. Well, no worries my friend, I will fix you. I will give you a proper sprite later. And also fix the shop UI. Still on the same day, I kept working on the UI, and for the rest of the day I kept working on improving the shop and our first enemy and fixing a lot of bugs that were popping up while developing them. Some of the main features implemented on these two would be the enemy HP on top of the head of the enemy and the free item on every shop. Also, as you can see, now the player and the enemy have the correct animations. Today was Monday. I didn't have university today, so I have to almost finish the game today, or I might not be able to accomplish what I envisioned for the game. So I started by implementing an enemy scaling difficulty by increasing HP and money received each enemy. After that, I fixed an error that was increasing the distance that every enemy was spawning from the player, that distance that was constantly increasing every spawn, so the player had to wait even more time every enemy, what isn't good for retention. After that, I implemented one new event, the healer, that heals you for a specific amount of golden dice. However, currently she seems quite bugged, so I'll fix her. Well, I fixed her, and just as I said, and now the HP can scale infinitely, just like Minecraft. After that, I added one new event, this time the upgrader, that upgrades your base dice by a random value of 1 to 4, and costs 30 dice, whatever the amount of increase may be. After that, I implemented the second enemy, that you have to make your value be between two values, so you can't be over a certain value to win. After that, I started improving the shop again, but well, it's still kinda buggy, as you can see, but the point with this is having a hover effect as well, and also a color to the dice to then distinguish each dice, since there will be many types of dice for variation on the game, of course. As you can see, now the hover effect is working correctly, and that was it for today. I had to go sleep because tomorrow I wake up at 5 AM for university, so that's it. In the middle of a class, I just implemented one more event, this time the gambler, but she's still kinda buggy for some reason. Well, the point of the gambler is like double or nothing. Well, I fixed her and added the new option to just 50%, since when testing sometimes I didn't want to risk everything. Also, added one more event, this time chooser, one that offers you one thing between two. It's a completely harmless NPC, and for today that's it, since I had university and other projects to finish. I implemented the boss that will show every 25 waves, or on the normal mode it will appear before the game ending, but well, it still had some bugs, so I just spent the whole day fixing them, because the point of the boss is or you lose all your lives or you kill the boss. It's an unskippable enemy, so it kinda had some different logic attached to it. After that, I finally implemented the colors to the dice, each color symbolizing a different effect. For last, today I finished the game, finishing the boss logic that is finally working correctly, and then I went to sleep. Why is Unity so slow at exporting stuff on my So today I spent the whole day exporting the project for the itch.io and making assets for the itch.io page, because for some reason Unity takes like 1 hour each export, and if there is an error, oops, gotta wait 1 more hour, man. I hate this so much, but well, it's finally done. And well, with this, I finally finished my first game on Unity, and overall the experience was better than I expected. However, I still don't like Unity. It has a lot of random bugs and issues that don't make sense, but well, this isn't about Unity, it's about the game, that in my opinion is one of the best so far, given the time frame. I also really liked the desktop pet, but I had 1 month for the desktop pet and just 1 week for this one, and I finished the game that is actually fun in that time frame, while being inexperienced by a lot in Unity. It's literally my first time, so once again, just pick whatever engine you want and make a game. It doesn't matter if it's bad, you learn with the project and you improve for future projects. With each failure in creation, you are not just failing but also building a solid base for your dream game. Well, check the other games I made in a month in this playlist. Cheers, see you next month.